Good evening, Grid Vision, and welcome to Monday night. It is the Spartan Sim Racing League Truck Series yet again live from virtual Atlanta Motor Speedway this week. I'm Joe LaCastro, joined in the booth this week by Curtis White, and down in our technical truck, it's Austin Derbyshire. How are you, Curtis?
I'm doing pretty good, Joe. I'm doing better. I'm actually really excited. We got ourselves a really good, really exciting race tonight. Trucks at old school Atlanta, one of my favorite track layouts on the sim, especially with the old version of Atlanta, which it's a lot of fun to drive and it's a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, well, I'm looking forward to tonight as well. It's going to be a fun one. We've got a few tricks up this oval sleeve, as you might hear from our upcoming keys to the race. But old Atlanta, it looks good. We know where it's located, and right now it looks like a beautiful day. The weather is. We'll get some weather up on the screen here in a second after we get this beautiful overhead shot of the track done, and we'll talk a little bit about what we're looking forward to tonight on the SSRL Truck Series. Right now, it is 71 in the air, 101 on the track. Ooh, that's a hot one. That's going to change. That'll change a few considerations as we go around. We'll see how things change. The SSRL Truck Series, though, has been kicking off really well. And here at Atlanta, they're going to put their skills to the test. Curtis, why don't you tell them how?
One of the main keys to getting around this racetrack, especially throughout an entire run, is to get that paintbrush, attach it to the left side skirt of your truck, and paint the bottom line. You want to run that thing all the way down to the inside, keep it at a steady, stable line, save your tires as much as you can down there. It's a good line to run. All the speed's up at the top though, but it shreds your tires, so you got to be careful. You got to use it when necessary. When you're in a battle, you got to make a move. When you make the move, you make it count. You don't want to be stuck in a battle for too long because you lose precious time if you're stuck in a battle side by side with another truck for laps on end. You got to make the move count and better get away and start running. And last but not least, pit stops. Pit entry matters. You can gain so much time if you are on your marks, on the brakes. It's a very risky line to try not to speed, but if you get it exactly right, you can gain so much time on your pit sequence and get out the other end with seconds to gain.
That's beautiful. Thank you very much for those keys to tonight's race. Going to talk just a little bit about our... Actually, let's do our picks first, and then I'll talk about some points here. My pick for tonight's race is going to be... brain fart. Bring him up on screen for a second. I completely forgot. Scott Healy, our winner of last week's race. He put on such a great showing last week, and he's moved up in the position. So I think Scott Healy's going 2 for 2 tonight. How about you?
I think we're going to see a guy on a rebound here. Jordan Saylor's in the #1 truck. He's put down some really good laps in practice. He qualified 5th. I'm going to keep an eye on the #1 truck to light it up tonight.
Beautiful. And then Derbyshire down in the truck. Chad Genningsman, always a good pick. Almost was my pick tonight. Went ahead and wanted to do something a little bit different, so I gave it to Scott Healy to come around a second time there. But we'll see if Chad Genningsman can put down some rubber tonight and get one of us. Hopefully the Grid Vision curse will not hit any of our drivers. Speaking of a few of the drivers, Jordan Saylors, we talked about him briefly. He fell down 4 positions last week. He unfortunately finished 30th in last week's race. Up at the top of the position, though, is Chad Genningsman, 619 championship points right now, sitting ahead of Kyle Westwood and Benjamin Stevens. It's going to be a big jump for anyone to really catch Genningsman at this point, but Scott Healy has the current highest jump in the standings. He's jumped 12 positions up to 23rd on the overall standings, 221 points, 1 win under his belt. So we're looking forward to seeing a few more changes maybe tonight. Maybe a few wrecks will change things up. Maybe a victory or 2 for somebody. A victory or 1. I guess only 1 can win. But that's the information about the standings as they stand in the championship. Let's go down to the grid and break it down for you all, folks. Starting things off tonight in the first place position, your pole sitter is Cody Porter. And on the outside, that's Scott Healy. 3rd, Chad Genningsman. 4th, Blair Holloman. 5th place position on the inside, Jordan Saylor. 6th, Dave Fuge Jr. 7th, Colton Gardner. 8th, Gary Donnellan. 9th, Evan Ethel. And 10th, Drew Prohl.
And picking up to row number 6, Hunter Hughes and Christopher Fuge will share that row. Gabriel Andy and James Staples in the number 24 on his outside. Row number 8, you have Sean Stevens and Benjamin Stevens. Scott Schroeder and Tom Ringer, Brian Britt, and Jay Salmon round out your top 20.
All right, moving on to the 21st position. We've got Andrew Kotska, and then on the outside, Art Nicotera. 23rd, Patrick Stein. 24th, Todd Parent. 25, it's JP Jones. 26, Jason Kratke. 27th, Kevin Martin. And rounding things out, 28, Heath Snyder. And the trucks are off. Getting things ready to go here. Old Atlanta, beautiful day for a race today. Nice and clear. The skies are a little bit cloudy, but I don't think that that's affected the heat on the track much. Obviously, 101 degree temperature on the track. That's going to be burning some rubber itself. So we'll see how tire strategy plays out. I think they've got 4 in the pits. That's usually what the guys here at SSRL do.
And we mentioned the track temperature and the kind of the weather. I've been actually keeping an eye on the track temps during practice. And with kind of the cloudy skies that are kind of rolling in and out above the racetrack, like some kind of rolling cover the track, it's the temperatures have been kind of varying, so the track's definitely going to be going through some transition periods, I feel like, throughout the race. Yeah. And I'm sure that these guys are going to know that very well, so it's going to be a matter of keeping up with the racetrack and keeping up with the changes that it's going to go through throughout the race.
Okay, well, let's... these guys are going around. The lights are off, so when they come back around, we'll be getting ready. If you're on YouTube, thanks for joining us. Love to have you. Be sure to chat with us during the race tonight. We'll be engaging as best we possibly can. And there goes the green. We are go, go, go yet again. Starting things off, Cole Porter. He's out in front. Holding off Scott Healy, who's falling back on the outside there. Blair Holloman just behind Porter. Porter a little bit loosey-goosey starting things off. Tires might be a little chilly, but he's got the lead and he's got the wall. So we'll see how things go.
We got one spinning at the back straightaway.
Whoa! Already some action here on the track.
Patrick Stein, number 88 machine around on the back straightaway out of turn number 2.
What do you think there? Cold tires on a hot track?
Bit of cold tires, maybe. I mean, that was a kind of a chaotic start, and now he wasn't the only one I saw. I think Gabriel Andy, number 6 machine, who was starting on the inside, he spun the tires so bad that he dropped all the way to the back of the line before they even got to turn 1. Oh, and as soon as I was catching up with him, they were already sideways. I saw a puff of smoke, and next thing you know, the number 88 was around. I didn't quite fully see what happened to him yet, and as we're looking at a replay here.
It looks like we had one racer who was a little bit late to the start who already got that lap back, though. Nice to have you, Jay Salmon. We'll get you back on the lead lap, and we'll get things restarted here pretty soon. Let's watch that spin here. He gets down, paint line, lightly steps ahead, and just gets that wheel going. He loses a little bit of control and then overcorrects it right up into the wall. Thankfully, didn't collect anybody with him.
Thankfully, and that's just how quickly that happens. You see the truck overcorrect at a turn 2 and just kind of shoot back up to the racetrack. He was the only one involved. But yeah, lucky break for Salmon to get that immediate caution, so he's not spending the rest of the race playing catch up until the stage break. So immediate caution, that should be a lucky break for him.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And now we've got, let's see, everybody lining back up. We're going to have another lap or two, I think, before things get started here. But it's nice how things work out sometimes. If you're Chase Salmon, that is.
Few trucks towards the back or midfield make a pit stop here. Only one lap in the race. Most of the field stays out, obviously, but some guys are maybe topping off or something. I don't know.
Just trying to stay fresh on the strategy, yeah.
Possibly.
We'll have to see here. This would be the time to do it on that false start. We'll just pretend like it never happened. The lights are off on the pace car, I believe. Nope, they're still on. I see him blinking. We're not quite lined up yet. The tower, that's what I gotta watch for. Very good. I always keep my eyes on the pace car. I gotta start watching the tower more often. That's true, folks. If you're watching along with us and you see, there it goes on the tower on the left-hand side of your screen. If you see that tower change from yellow to orange, that means we got one left to go in that current caution.
That's good to know, because even I forget. I'm always looking for the pace car.
Same.
As well, so you're not the only one, buddy. You're not the only one.
Oh, it's all right. Amateur hour here on Grid Vision, that's all. 4 out of 85, another 30 to go, 31 to go until we get, I mean 32, I think, until we get to the end of that stage. I don't have a lot of personal experience here at Old Atlanta either, so I probably would have been the one doing the spinning, I have to admit.
Yeah.
Oh,
Harvey says he got his first C Open win. That's pretty cool.
Nice. I still have only one official race win to my name, and that is a draft master in the legacy in the legend cars, NASCAR Legends.
Hey,
Draft
you know what? A
master.
win's a win.
And here comes the green flags getting ready to wave. We're going to be green yet again here on Grid Vision tonight, trying one more time to start things off here on the SSRL Truck Series.
Good launch from Porter into turn 1.
Beautiful, beautiful launch. He takes it down right behind him. That looks like it's Scott Healy. No, Blair Holloman, excuse me. Blair Holloman directly behind him, lining things up. Healy is behind Holloman in the Valvoline car there. And rounding things off, that's Dave Fuge Jr., who's got a little bit of a gap between him and Gordon Sailors. That 4 is taking things off into the lead here. Little ways back. We've got cars still 2x2, kind of straightening things out. Christopher Fuge Jr. still 2x2. Colton Garner, he's keeping things off the 80 of Drew Kroll. Drew Kroll down to the inside now, on the inside of the 12. That's Gary Donnellan.
You see most of the field already doing kind of what we mentioned in the keys of the race, running the bottom lane, especially up in the front, this kind of top 6, breaking away from the rest of the pack. Everyone's running down to the very bottom of the racetrack. Got what looks like Healy in that 64 machine, that Valvoline truck. He's doing a really good job keeping the the tires on the white line, running that thing very low, kind of like how Kevin Harvick would always do it back in the day. Harvick was so good at it that they made a verb out of it, Harvicking. And that's basically what Healy's. That's what it was called. Every time you tune into the broadcast, they would say he's Harvicking the line. And if someone says you're Harvicking the line, you're doing a good job. As we had a battle for the lead, Holloman to the inside of Porter to the lead.
Yep, he was able to squeeze by there. Harvicking seems to be the name of the game here. I like hearing it. I'm going to use that verb myself. Now we got a little pack, a little bee's nest behind the lead. 2x2 going into the turn here. Scott Healy is pulling ahead now of Cody Porter. Porter falling back next to the number 1 car of Jordan Sailors. Sailors squeezing him up to the wall a little bit, back down into the turn. It's Sailors with the Harvick. I'm going to use that all night long. And
Oh God, what have I done?
You've unleashed the beast. Chad Genningsman behind him on the inside, looking to steal that spot away from Cody Porter.
In the side-by-side battles we mentioned, you got to make a move count. You don't want to be stuck in a battle for too long. You see them side-by-side here up at the front. We saw quite a bit of it mid-pack. It's kind of the, the hornet's nest, if you will. We always mention how it's always a battle for real estate, right? Well, let the bidding begin, because everyone's fighting for the same piece of real estate all across the board. And right now it seems like most of the field's kind of stringing out a little bit. We still got a few battles all across the field, especially for third right here is Genningsman and the 64 on his outside.
Ooh. Healy falling back now, lost 2 spots, gave up a spot to Porter and Genningsman. This could be the long game here from Scott Healy a little bit. You remember, you don't want to overdrive your truck early on. We've got 2 stages to go. We're in the middle of stage 1, so falling back a position or 2 could just be a calculated risk.
It could be. They're thinking long game. These guys have been around long enough to know that you're not going to win the race on the first lap or the first 10.
You just beat me to it, I was going to say.
Or the first 35, but we are racing to about 35, if I'm not mistaken, for the stage, correct?
You are correct, sir, and here comes the big move on the inside. Jordan Sailor's looking for it now. Is he going to take it by a nose? Yes, he is. What speed! Jordan Sailor sailing by Blair Holloman to take the first place spot.
There it is. Set sail. Jordan Sailors to the lead.
I like that. I like set sail. I'm going to have to steal that one, too. Sailor's out into the front with a very good exit on that, just like a rocket, passing him up. Nice, clean pass. He's down to the inside now, unloading that wheel as they get into the back stretch. I think Holloman, though, is already signaling that he wants his spot back. He's staying very, very close onto the tailgate there of Jordan Sailors. Let's see if he finds his way down to the inside. Sailor's moving up now. Just kicking the back of that truck out a little bitty bit on that exit of 4.
He's doing a really good job so far, and he's kind of in a spot where he's in between two trucks. He's got Ginningsman, hogging the mirror all over his back bumper, and he's trying to focus on Jordan Sailors. So he's kind of dealing with two things at once when you're kind of in that position where you're the meat in the middle. And that's where Holloman is right now in that Steve Park Pennzoil throwback, which I really like, by the way. Looking really good, running in second right now. But what he thinks it'll look really good in the lead, out in the front, and that's I think what he's trying to get back to, as he doesn't seem like he's that settled in second right now. He wants to get back to the front.
Yeah, I'm seeing that here, a little loose there. We watched the camera from Genningsman's point of view a minute ago. They're all running down there at that line, kind of stealing each other's speed a little bit, using the strategy. But we do have a few guys that are signaling that they want a little bit more out of this. Right now, Dave Fuge Jr., Cody Porter is one of those guys. Taking the 4 on the inside. He gets the 3rd place spot now from Genningsman and Healy. Healy moves up. Genningsman falls back to 5th. Back behind them there, we've got some 2 wide battles going on. But the battle at the front is still fierce. Here's the 2 wide battle I'm looking for. That's the 18 of Hunter Hughes on the outside. Hughes in the Cane's Fried Chicken car. That looks really good too. I like that. He's leading the pack. That's also includes James Staples and Colton Garner. But here comes Ben Stevens passing up Garner with pretty good speed. That high velocity racing truck on the outside. Stevens is going to take 11th now. Another potential pass coming up. Oh man, James Staples almost getting locked up into the back of the 18 Hunter Hughes, but he gets back down to the inside. He finds his spot, slides back up to keep him out of the running. That was very close.
Very close indeed, on the razor's edge with how fast they're going into the turns. As we're about halfway through the stage, the tires are starting to kind of wear in a little bit. And with this abrasive surface that old Atlanta has, these trucks will become a handful as the laps progress.
Scott Healy back up in the front. Let's take a look here. He's moving into 3rd. He got his spot back from Cody Porter. Healy, 0.4 seconds off the lead of Jordan Sailors. The top guys right now, the top 4 cars are all within a second of each other. That paints a pretty picture, I gotta say. There's a big move right now. Was that Jordan Sailors, I think, coming out and around? Oh, no, that wasn't him. He's in the lead right now. I thought I saw somebody in a blue truck making a big move, and I just lost track for a second there. But here we go. Behind Jordan Sailors, there is some mixing going on. Blair Holloman is holding on to that spot, but it looks like Scott Healy was signaling for the inside. Now it's going to be Cody Porter on the inside, but not with enough speed. On the outside now, the 32 is going to contact the 64. Big contact, big recovery. Blair Holloman sliding up almost directly into the side of Scott Healy. There was some contact there. Holloman dived down to the inside to get away, recovered the vehicle, and he's back now in 4th position. So he didn't really lose too much from that, but it could have been a lot worse.
Oh, Healy's not done yet. He is trying to take every spot he can. And he was trying to get a spot on Holloman before the door closed, and he got it very close as he gets to the wall out of turn 2. Now side by side with the leader of Jordan Sailors.
That high line, man, that high line is paying dividends right now for Scott Healy. He hasn't given it up, really. He only goes down to the line when it looks like the other guys are doing it, but that high line's gotten him the pass here. And another pass. That's Cody Porter making the pass on Jordan Sailors. So Sailors now, our former race leader, has fallen back 2 places.
Yeah, Healy's making these moves so fast right now, I can't even finish my train of thought.
Right? Here I was thinking that he was going to play it cool a little bit, but the answer is no. Healy's going to push his way back up to the front and lead this pack. Or he's going to lose the lead. Let's see what happens here as Cody Porter takes the inside. Great speed out of Porter. He slides up, gets the block. Another move, though. Here comes Scott Healy down the inside now. Healy just trying to stay competitive as best he can. He's got the quarter panel. Ooh, we got some pitting. Some guys pitting a little early here, it feels like.
That Hughes?
Still up at the front. Yeah, I think that might have been Hunter Hughes. Still up at the front. It looks like Cody Porter is going to hold on to it. Steve Hughes, Martin Britt, Stevens. Those were our pitters there. 4 cars in the pit lane right now. 22 out of 85, and Cody Porter is currently sailing into the lead with a bit over half a second lead on the 3 cars behind him. Oh, excuse me, with just over 0.2 lead on Scott Healy. Also pitting, we've got the 68 here of Christopher Fuge. The cars staying out now or look like they might be trying to go for the long run or to make it to the stage. I think we can make it to the stage with 1 set of tires here. I'm not sure if there'd be a reason to take a stage set early. I guess we'll find out as some of those pitters are going to come back out on the track pretty soon.
We got 3 wide into turn number 1.
Yeah.
Ginningsman in the middle, Fuge on the outside, and you got this number 12. Gary Donnellan. Oh, how close can you really get?
Wow. Yeah, I thought I saw Donnellan get a little sideways there, potentially. That 3 wide was very pretty. It sounds like we've got some more pitting going on. This time it's going to be Art McTerra. It's going to go around and pick out the pit lane, he said. Up at the front still, there goes the 17. Up here at the front still, Sailors in 3rd, Healy in 2nd. Healy right on the back of Cody Porter. Still signaling down to the inside. This time, Porter takes the outside line. Doesn't quite have the speed that Healy's going to get. Healy on the geometry takes it. He's back in the lead. .26 out of 85 with a pit stop at 35, folks. That'll be when it's time to stretch and get a drink. I keep hearing more calls for pitting. Sounds like everybody wants to get that sprint to 35 on some freshies.
Fuge coming in the 22 truck.
Not a lot of banking at Atlanta on these straights here. Pretty flat track once you get back down to the outside
it's a
of the
pretty
track.
It's a pretty quick transition from the banking here, which is about like 25-ish degrees. I don't know exactly the number, how many it is.
Whoa!
But, oh,
You saw what I saw, Scott Healy.
Hey, let me finish my thought, guys. Come on.
Sorry, Curtis.
Healy was out of control there before he even got to the turn, as he is now on the pit road. And the 32 of Blair Holloman.
Moving. Well, if our leaders are doing it, that means everybody else is going to consider it. But Cody Porter is going to stay out, probably try to get an extra lap on there.
Got him, Sailors, Ginningsman, Donnellan still on track. That moves Drew Prohl in the 80 truck up into 5th.
And we got some hard chargers here. JP Jones up 19 positions. Heath Snyder up 21 positions.
Oh, we got a spin. Out of turn 4, I believe, coming onto pit road. I couldn't see who it was. Oh, it was Jordan Sailors.
Still yellow. Or still green, excuse me.
He got it back onto pit road.
That's going to cost him a little bit. Although this early pit strategy will already be one he's going to be on the back foot from. Let's have a look here. He's coming around. Lines things up. Tries to get off the transition. Wow.
Oh, watch this. He's not the only one. Gary Donnellan, the 12, also in the infield grass. That's the one that I saw.
You were the one who mentioned you got to watch those pit stops.
Mm-hmm.
You can really go flying. Out here now. That's the 04 machine of Cody Porter, setting more laps. Currently on lap 29, going into lap 30. Porter's off now, finally hitting the pits. That's going to give Genningsman the lead. Cody Porter battling things out, with Scott Healy battling things out, with Blair Holloman for the majority of the first stage here. Now in the lead, it's Genningsman. 35, I believe, is where we're going to have our one and only stage break. So 5 more laps. Genningsman now down pit road. Drew Prohl moves in. A lot of changing of the guard here as we've got these pits happening. Looks like everybody's pitting pretty independent of the stage. They want to get on good tires for the rest of the race and have a good pit strategy for the rest of the race. You might just want to not think too hard about stage 1.
Yeah, that takes me back to when we had our first caution. We had a few trucks on pit road after that lap 1 caution that I don't know if they took tires or top. I mean, it's only a 1 lap difference. Maybe they topped off on fuel or something. I don't fully know.
That was my theory.
The extent of the tire life or fuel life of these trucks. But I remember Heath Snyder being one of those trucks that pitted under the L because he started shotgun on the field and not putting down a qualifying lap. And you look right now, he scored as the leader.
He is indeed on 29 lap old tires. Heath Snyder is currently leading the race. That's very good. 29 laps since he was in the pit. So that could have been for gas at the time, who knows, but he's still on some oldies. Let's see if he can get to the end of this stage. I think he will try. Snyder right now fighting a lap car. I think, nope. That's Tom Ringer who just passed him to get back on the lead lap.
Yeah, there's going to be a whole line of trucks on Freshies trying to get around the leader, who's still trying to ride this stage out to the end.
Just wants to make it to the end of the stage. We got 1 lap left till the end of the stage.
Meanwhile, these guys are trying to get their lap back.
They'll get it. We'll see what happens when the yellow comes out. And we'll see who's going to be fighting to get their lap back and who's going to be on the lead lap. Right now, Tom Ringer, James Staples both make their way back onto the lead lap. Heath Snyder coming around, doing a little bit of some hard saving right now from Snyder. Engine off, engine on. Yellow flag is out. Heath Snyder is going to be your winner of stage 1 as we go around and get things ready to go for our... He's still just coasting through this whole lap, it looks like. Got to make his way back to the pit. Hopefully he doesn't run out of gas on the way. And while Heath Snyder limps his way back to pit lane, we are going to leap our way to a commercial break. We'll be right back, folks, with more from the SSRL Monday Night Truck Series here on Grid Vision.
You can't settle for the rest. For anything on iRacing, there's just one name you need: Makoni.
With the launch of Makoni Entertainment and Makoni Competizone alongside Makoni Setup Shop, we now provide the best of the best in setups, paint schemes, coaching, broadcasting, and event organization.
With cars across all 4 license classes, we have what you need to hit the track with confidence. Grab a subscription and save money while going fast at MakoniSetupShop.com/subscriptions.
And remember, at Makoni Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Yeah. Hey, we're back on SSRL's Monday Night Truck Series, folks. Heath Snyder winning Stage 1. I'm Joe LaCastro, joined by Curtis White in Austin, Derbyshire, bringing you the best in eNASCAR here on YouTube. And the orange light is on the tower. Perfect timing from our truck as usual, as we are going to get ready for this race to resume. How do you feel about Stage 1 there, Curtis?
I feel really good about it. I think we got a teaser of what we can expect in the second stage. There was a lot of back and forth for the lead. It seemed like whoever was in the lead either had a hard time holding on to it or really didn't want it for that long, because it was a lot of hot potato amongst the top 5 before we had our first pit stop. It was a lot of fun to watch, and I think we're going to see more of that.
Truly. We had a lot of guys at the front who we thought were just going to settle in, and they just didn't settle. A lot of rotation of the lead, a lot of movement out of some of the guys there, a lot of pit stops in Stage 1 that helped mix things up a little bit, gave Heath Snyder this opportunity to move up 27 positions to first place to start things off here for Stage 2. We're getting ready now. The pace car will be coming off very soon, and we'll be getting started. All right, there's the green flag. We are go yet again here on Grid Vision tonight. Heath Snyder taking things off the jump. He's got a pretty good lead. All the cars bunching up behind him. The Hornet's Nest is stringing it out, but right now Snyder with the lead. Sailors close behind. Sailors is on the outside right now, fighting Evan Ethel, who is there. We haven't seen Evan Ethel at the front of this race yet. Evan's 6 places up. He's been holding on to that spot, and now he's in a good position to try to get towards the podium. Heath Snyder still out in front. 2 by 2 behind him. It's Jordan Sailors, Blair Holloman on the outside.
Yeah, Evan Ethel, I've noticed he was kind of on the same strategy Heath Snyder was. Leapfrog through the rest of the field, and I think he got second in the stage. So this is a good bounce forward for that number 38 to get himself in a good position for a good run tonight. He's trying to hang on to that spot right now as Fuge is getting around him on the outside.
Here comes Fuge Jr. moving down now to the inside. He's got the spot ahead of Evan Ethel. Hunter Hughes also made his way up just in front of Dave Fuge. But still up there at the front, it's Heath Snyder, Jordan Sailors, Blair Holloman just behind Sailors, doing his best to hold on. Both of them following the same line right now. Holloman is doing his best to get his eye on this advantageous spot to start his turn. Can't quite get the speed though. He's going to stay behind Sailors for a little bit longer. And Sailors. Let's look back a little ways and see what's going on in the middle of the pack. Oh, as we said, we're going to go back and look. Something did happen. The yellow flag is out, folks. Lap 43 out of 85. We're going to try to get eyes on and see what might have gone down here.
Saw a few trucks sideways in the infield, one of them being the 6. Gabriel Andy was involved. And a couple others.
Here they go. Yep,
oh, right
the
there.
6 coming down hard. Yeah, the 6 came down and made contact on that 69 of Kevin Martin. Six
And
machine was Gabriel Andy.
Brian Britton, the 5 truck, nearly got involved. Had to take a big swing to the grass to avoid making any contact. He was able to save his truck, thankfully.
At first glance, I thought that might have been Andy coming down, but it looks like it was a little of column A and column B, the two of them just colliding and smashing for a moment, sending Andy down to the inside. Look at that panel flipping around in the air. The wind just got under it.
That's amazing.
Now Andy's going to get himself back over. We do love the panel physics in iRacing is the most advanced in all of video game, though, as we know. There it is. Ooh. What a dodge. What a dodge. Down to the inside to avoid the wreck, back onto the track. None the wiser. This is a tricky track. Looks like Redline Racer just mentioned YouTube. This track is tough. That is true. This is a tough track. We've seen a couple of situations where the track has been the one reaching out to slap the drivers, either on pit road or earlier in the race where we saw some guys go around on the first lap. Old Atlanta will come up and bite you.
There's no doubt about that. And I could say from experience, Atlanta was probably the last or one of the last 1.5 mile tracks that I started out on. And after I started getting comfortable with the sim, learning how to drive on most of the tracks, I'm like, oh, it's another 1.5 miles. I'm just going to treat it like any other. It sneaks up on you. You get surprised at how quickly whatever you're driving will just either the wall will grab you or you're just going to slip in the butter off the turn. It's a sneaky tricky. I don't know the words I was thinking of, but sneaky tricky.
It's a sneaky tricky. I think that
sneaky tricky.
That perfectly sums up the whole thing. It is a sneaky tricky.
My brain shut off and I kind of defaulted to like 5-year-old terms. It's sneaky tricky.
That's all right. I think that those terms will work for me specifically and probably for a lot of our viewers. All right, all right, all right. We've got 2 to go at least here, it looks like. Yellow is still up on the tower. And remember, folks, if you're enjoying today's race, let somebody know to watch a little Grid Vision. We've got races all week. Monday and Tuesday, we do SSRL, like you're watching right now. Tomorrow night, it's going to be the Masters Series in the Cup cars. So plenty of great racing coming up. All week. At least right now on Mondays and Tuesdays. But seriously, tell your friends. Be sure to like and subscribe, all the good stuff. The more you interact with us, the better our product gets for you.
Now we're about ready to have ourselves another restart here. As I think this time by we will get the lights out on the pace car. Yes, I'm still watching the pace car. But
don't worry,
now that these tires, now that these tires have gone through a quick heat cycle, you know, we're gonna see if the intensity will be just about where it was, or maybe these guys will kind of settle back down for at least the time being, and then it'll amp back up later on. I don't know. I'm kind of curious to see.
Cold to hot and back again, thanks to these yellows. Right now, Jordan Sailors, Blair Holloman, Hunter Hughes, Dave Fuge Jr., and Evan Ethel are your top 5. Jordan Sailors is going to be taking things out. Looks like the track has cooled down a little bit here in the afternoon. It's 4:10 p.m. in beautiful Atlanta, and the track got 4 degrees cooler since when we started.
Yeah, like I said pre-race, it's been kind of going back and forth since practice, but I think we're starting to get a more consistent feel of the track during the race as we get later in the day. And I think it's going to keep going back down at this rate. Wouldn't be surprised if it picked up somehow, but yeah, I think we're going to see it kind of cool down a little more, and these guys are going to get a little more racy as the laps wind down.
All right, that's what we're looking for. We want to see some charging. We want to see some moves. I think we're about to. The pace car is off. The flagman is getting ready. And there's the green flag. We are go yet again on Grid Vision tonight. Sailors out of the tri-oval. He's the one in the lead down to the inside. Blair Holloman staying up on that middle groove. Maybe taking the Scott Healy approach as he rides that middle line. Sailors down to the inside, harvicking that line as he were.
And Holloman's just getting a little bit of fresh breath on his nose to get the car to turn in the middle, as he's going to try to set him up on the outside into turn number 3, all the way up to the wall. And a good run he's going to have if Sailor can anticipate that. He's going to give him the room.
Yep.
Even at the line, Sailor's going to lead that lap, but Holloman, I think, will get the pass done. Unless Sailors can hold the bottom here, but that top line is just hard to beat. And you're going to see that right here as they get really close. Both trucks get out of shape off turn number 2, but Blair Holloman easily out in front after that pass.
Wow, yeah. That turned me into Santa Claus. It made me go, ho, 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 all of a sudden. That was a really, really close one. Holloman, though, holding on to it, straightening the car back out, getting out of that dirty air. He's taking the lead now. Jordan Sailors down behind him. Has got the 2-wide situation under control. The last fastest lap, actually, was 30 seconds. 30.93. That was Blair Holloman. Blistering speed. Very, very good. One of the best speeds on the racetrack tonight so far. If not, in fact, the best speed we've had lap going around yet. That was Blair Holloman with the 30-second lap. Whoop, into the grass. That's an off-track incident. But he's back. Who was that just went off track? Was that Tom Ringer? Or that was Kratke. Thank you. Kratke off track briefly. He's back. We got a big hornet's nest still back a little ways there. Scott Healy leading things. Behind him, Genningsman on the outside, and several cars all 2 wide behind him.
Kratke getting loose again, nearly gets into the grass a second time. He's going to fall backwards as everyone on the outside is going to gang up on him. He's going to lose a few spots. But now we see this middle of the pack. Some of the, the cast that we've been covering, Genningsman, the 64 Snyder in the wall, guys we've been talking about, they're in the middle of this thing.
Yeah, they are. We saw it wide a second ago. They are. A lot of the cars in the middle are still mixing up. The outside line is very attractive to the center of this pack right now. Scott Schroeder on the outside has the lead on Scott Healy. Schroeder, by a nose, is staying on the outside line. Healy now changed his strategy up. He's on the inside, using the geometry a little bit. But that outside line, as you've said there, Curtis, that outside line is very attractive, and it's got the speed. It's got the
we got one loose in the back. He hangs on to it. I think that was the 5 of Britt. But he hangs on to it. We're all good. But, no, I was looking at Heath Snyder, the 29. That you mentioned the top line being so attractive. He was all over the outside line trying to get a pass on, I think, Evan Ethel. And Ethel wanted the outside lane, too. He kept trying to take it away from him. So any opening that looked like that there was just went away every single time he tried to set up a pass on him. He had to go back to the bottom to get around the 38 of Evan Ethel, and he's able to do that last time by. But now they're side by side right in front of him. You got the 64 and the 74, Schroeder to the 74, the 64, Scott Healy.
Healy getting followed very, very closely right now by
He's going to get a
Snyder.
push.
Yeah.
Very tricky part of the track to get a push on.
Snyder in the very attractive Grid Vision livery right now.
Take a shot every time we say the word attractive. I feel like
Yeah,
we've said it many
idea.
times tonight.
That's true. It's one of my go-tos. Looking good. The 29, Heath Snyder on the outside, getting that push from Cody Porter this time. Porter pushing him on the outside. The two of them want that speed, they want that momentum, and they're going to hold on to it as they make the pass on Schroeder.
Schroeder's truck kind of looked like it had a hard time holding the bottom. That kind of slowed down his momentum out of the turn. That's kind of the tricky part. If you don't have that truck set up the way you want, the bottom can be a little bit tricky to maintain throughout the long run. If you don't get the angle right, it'll kind of crawl up the track, if you will, if you get in the middle. That's why I say at the start, you want to be on the white line. You want to be painting the line with your tires the best you can. It's tricky to do because it's not easy to run. It's very bumpy down there. Like, this is not a smooth surface whatsoever, as we got one, maybe two trucks hit the wall simultaneously. That's Sailors in the one as Ginningsman continues to march back forward, and he has been on the charge this whole restart as he is looking to take away third from Sailors, who defends from the outside.
Can he do it? Sailors on the outside. We'll see how things shape up a little bit further here. We're going to send things to commercial, and we'll be back with more racing tonight on Grid Vision.
You want to be the best, you can't settle for the rest. For anything on iRacing, there's just one name you need, Makoni.
With the launch of Makoni Entertainment and Makoni Competizone alongside Makoni Setup Shop, we now provide the best of the best in setups, paint schemes, coaching, broadcasting, and event organization.
With cars across all 4 license classes, we have what you need to hit the track with confidence. Grab a subscription and save money while going fast at MakoniSetupShop.com/subscriptions.
And remember, at Makoni Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Hey folks, we're back with more on Grid Vision from the SSRL Truck Series Monday nights. Here we've got Joe LaCastro, that's me, Curtis White, that's him, and our friend Austin Derbyshire down in the truck. We got about 21 laps left, 22 laps left in tonight's race. Heath Snyder out in front right now, Cody Porter in second. We had a number of people pitting during the break. Blair Holloman, we had, who else was in that pit? Tom Ringer. Few others in there, Dave Hughes Jr. So we had a couple of cars go into pit to get their tires ready for the end of tonight's race. Here's another one. And out on the track, we've got some people who are set up, and they're going to push themselves a little bit further. Let's see how far Heath Snyder pushes himself after he pushed himself all the way across the line on a fuel-saving strategy at the end of stage 1, shutting his car off and coasting across the finish line practically. Really, really impressively done. But Snyder is still out there on tires from lap 44. We've got some other guys who are going into the pit. They're going to be coming out on fresh tires. They're going to be guys to watch out for. Evan Ethel, Ben Stevens. These are guys who have been putting in competitive races tonight, and we'll see how they fare against some guys who are staying out on tires from 36, 44, way back. So things are going to change here in these last 20 laps.
No doubt about that. And you got the guys here up at the front. Well, Snyder is going to
Whoa!
surrender from the battle for now between him and Porter. And surprisingly, he's going to go for an early stop here.
Very
good
very
entry
good.
on entry. Is the opposite of what we saw in stage 1. You got Ginningsman in as well.
This is going to be this is going to be it for folks here, because I don't think anybody who's in the lead right now is going to be able to make it to the end of the race. The question becomes, when are you going to pit Cody Porter? When are you going to pit Scott Healy, Sean Stevens? Oh, right now it sounds like.
He heard you. You see how his hands were full.
Yeah, a lot of back and forth there to keep the truck in one piece. Let's see how long this pit stop takes him. Let's see if he got a penalty. Let's see, Scott pits. Nope, I don't think so. I think he got lucky and got in just below the line. Out in the lead, Jason Kratke right now, still on old tires. Blair Holloman right behind him, only about, by right behind him, I mean he's 20 seconds behind him, but Kratke is the only one out right now who's still on old tires, who's in the lead on old tires. There's still some guys out on tires from the 30s. But Holloman is good to go. This will be his final stretch of the race for sure. So once Kratke's out of the way, which I'm sure he will be, up there he goes, Holloman is going to be able to slide up into the lead, and we'll see how the end of this race shakes out tonight. We're on lap 69 of 85. Only 16 laps to go, I believe. Oh, 17 laps to go. Gotta remember my NASCAR math.
This could be like a public service announcement to everyone watching. Always remember your NASCAR math.
Yeah, if you, whatever it says is the lap, you gotta remember they gotta get to the end of that lap, so add 1.
It's 100% more applicable than any other math you'll ever learn in school.
Oh, you're right. Oh, you're absolutely right. I use NASCAR math at least twice a week. Regular math, forget about it. Out in front, Holloman's got a 5-second lead right now on Dave Fuge, who himself has a 1-second lead on Heath Snyder. So now we've got the guys out who are going to be finishing this race. Andrew Kotska is still on tires from lap 59, so he might have to pit at some point before the end of the race still. But Blair Holloman is going to be able to take things to the flag. Let's just see if Dave Fuge Jr. can close that gap, and it is ever so gently closing. Doesn't have much time to do it.
It's definitely closing, but with the amount of laps we have left and the massive lead that Holloman has currently, it's gonna be an uphill climb for Fuge to run him down. And matter of fact, he's got other problems right now as Heath Snyder has ran him down. He was about a second back of him. Now he's right on his tailgate down the front stretch, and into turn number 1, Snyder could be taking away second place from him.
Snyder's there. He also close behind, don't forget, within a 1-second gap from, or about a 2-second gap from Dave Fuge Jr. You've got Porter, Healy, Sailors, Kotska, and Genningsman. So they're not too far apart, even though we're here at the end of the race and things are kind of stretching a little bit. The cars at the lead are not so far apart that we're not going to have a little bit of a sprint for second place at the very least. Holloman out in front, Snyder up on the outside now. It's Cody Porter trying to use that outside line. keep that momentum like we've seen so many times through the night tonight. That outside line at Atlanta can pay off on the right setup if you've got it. You can stay tight enough on the outside not to lose control of the car. When you come back around down out of that transition.
Now we're back
looks like
to
Cody Porter's good.
We're at a continuation of what we were seeing before the pit stop. The battle between Snyder and Porter is back underway.
Oh, it's a close one. 75 of 85, 11 to go. A little bit of smoke out of the wall back there. I think somebody might have touched the brakes or touched the wall. Snyder holding on to second. Porter still very close behind, but not necessarily signaling yet that he wants to make his move.
Now, they both know that they're running down Holloman in a heartbeat. We were just talking about the gap. It's now down to 2.5.
The two of them together can close that gap, and then the two of them will have to figure out which one of them wants to take the lead. That'll be the real battle.
Yeah, consider this
down to it.
Consider this a temporary truce, if you will.
Yeah.
That's what I would call it. Like, look, we could be battling each other all day long, but look, we are running down the leader. We take care of him, then we can continue on.
Right. After that, it's smooth sailing if you're Jordan Sealer, but he's not in the front of this race right now.
No, but he's hanging tough in the top 10. He's about 7th. Not quite in the picture that we're showing with Snyder and Porter. Much as I want him to be, because he was my pick for the race, but...
Yeah. That's all right. We give him the old grid vision bump as usual. 77 of 85. Eyes are currently on the 29 machine of Heath Snyder because he's making that gap smaller and smaller. 1 second now, the gap between Snyder and Holloman. Holloman's got to be quaking in his boots at this point. If he's looking at the relative, he can see that there's cars within a second of him now. 2 of them angrily chasing him down, trying to take what should be, what looks like it was going to be an easy win from him with just 7 laps to go.
And right now, he's kind of surrounding himself around lap trucks. Tom Ringer, the 9, just got his lap back. He actually just made a second pit stop just recently, so now he's on fresh tires. Getting away from the leader.
We've got the camera on the hood of Heath Snyder right now. That big GV chasing down Holloman's Pennzoil truck. 0.2 off the bumper right now. This is going to be a lap where a move could potentially be made. Let's look for a good corner entry. Snyder on the outside. Makes the move for the inside. Staying in that center groove. He's got it. Heath Snyder moves into first place. Blair Holloman on the outside is going to lose 2 places now as Cody Porter slides carefully into second.
And just joining this action, Scott Healy, who's ran all of these guys down, and now we're 2 by 2. Crossing the quaddle into turn number 1. Healy to the inside of Holloman. He's easily going to take that spot away from him.
5 laps to go. The top 3, Snyder, Porter, Healy. Porter and Healy started this race in first and second, and they're almost right back to where they started. But then there's the odd man out, Snyder, 27 positions up from where he started this race without a qualifying time.
I'd say the hard charger award is easily settled if it stands this way to the end of the race.
Absolutely.
From back to front, Heath Snyder, what a run it has been for him.
Flipped the grid like a pancake to put himself right at the top of the list. Very impressive driving, good strategy at the end of stage 1. Now he's just doing his best to hold on to the lead. Cody Porter on the inside line there, using that middle groove. Snyder sliding up into the groove as well. Just behind them, it's Scott Healy with 4 laps to go. Now 3 laps to go, I believe.
I'm Snyder. The last thing I want to do is give up the top lane. He was running the bottom on exit. He was able to get away with that. Kind of helped with the stability on exit as both him and Porter kind of got a little out of shape.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Nose to tail.
Here comes the drive of Scott Healy. second.
An inside pass attempt is going to be very difficult with just how strong the top lane is, as Porter's able to hold him off. Healy's going to have his hands full if he needs to get around both these guys, but time's running out.
2 to go. I think what Healy's got to do is hope Porter makes his move and hope that he screws it up somehow. Porter, wide, sliding a little bit. Healy down to the inside.
Healy's getting impatient. He can't wait on Porter to make the move. He wants to make it himself. And that's exactly what Snyder wants to see, is them side by side for second. That takes the heat off him for a little bit, as they're going to take the white flag.
Exactly. Coming around, 1 lap to go. Right now in the lead, Heath Snyder, followed closely by Cody Porter and Scott Healy. Porter on the outside, using the top line groove. Healy behind him, not quite able to get the speed he needs on the inside. He's going to follow him on the outside. All 3 cars now using the wall. Porter moving left and right, looking for a position. We're coming around 3, going into 4. This race is about to end, folks, with Heath Snyder out in the lead. Porter up on the outside. He can't get the speed. He's going to hold on to second place. Scott Healy looks like he's going to hold on to third. Coming down to the line. And that's the game. Heath Snyder with the win tonight. Cody Porter in second, Scott Healy in third. Wow. Whoo-wee. Heath Snyder. The name of the game. Absolutely one of the best drives I've seen out of Heath Snyder. He's always a competitor. One of the best drives we've seen out of him tonight so far. Great driving from him, Porter, Healy, all the guys at the top and all the guys in the race in general. Fantastic driving from the SSRL League tonight. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we're going to bring you the full results and some interviews with your top drivers. So stick around. And we're back with the results from tonight's SSRL Truck Series race. First place finisher, Heath Snyder. Second, Cody Porter. Third, Scott Healy. Fourth, Blair Holloman. Fifth, Chad Genningsman. Sixth, Dave Fuge Jr. Seventh, Evan Ethel. Eighth, Jordan Sailors. Ninth, Benjamin D. Stevens. And 10th, James Staples.
And 11th goes to Andrew Kotska in the 47, Colton Gardner in 12th, Scott Schroeder in the 74, 13th. Drew Prohl in the 80 goes 14th, Sean Stevens 15th, JP Jones 16th, Jason Kratke in the 54 gets 17th, Patrick Stein in the 88 rebounds to 18th after spinning on the first lap, Brian Britt in the 5 truck gets 19th, and Art Nicotera in the number 17 rounds out your top 20.
21st, Hunter Hughes. 22nd, Christopher Fuge. 23rd, Tom Ringer. 24th, Kevin Martin. 25th, Todd Parent. 26th, Gary Donnellan. 27th, Jay Salmon. And 28th, Gabriel Andy. What a race tonight. Heath Snyder with a dominating victory. We're going to go ahead and put together a few interviews, though, folks. We're going to talk to Scott Healy first, then Cody Porter and Heath Snyder if we can get them available. So let's start with Scott Healy. Hello, Scott. Can you hear us?
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hey, doing pretty good. Congratulations on that third place finish tonight.
Yeah, thank you. I made some mistakes. Should have been first. I had the faster car, but it just things didn't go my way, and yeah, it kind of blows. But I'll take P3.
Yeah, well, you know what? It's still P3. You started in P2, you ended up in P3. Not bad overall. Your strategy looked like you were using that middle groove early on a lot. But tell us about when that changed. When did you change the strategy up a little bit?
Well, I needed to go faster, man.
Okay, fair enough.
So I like Auto Club, I tried to save as much stars as I could, and Um, for the long run, I could catch up. And I don't know what Cody did, but I know he messed up his fuel strategy. I already knew I was gonna pick because I wasn't gonna make it, and he just let me go. And it was gonna be between me or him if we were next to each other, but Snyder came with the undercut and came out first, and I'm proud of him. He's been working on it, and it's good to see him win.
Absolutely. Coming off your victory last week, 3rd place this week. Next week, are you looking forward to another podium finish?
Oh yeah, I'll try. I don't even know what track it is next week, but if I could be here, I'll be here.
I'm not sure either, to be fair, but I'm just trying to give you a little bit of a bump going into next week.
Yeah, I'm excited. Can't wait to see what this truck can do at that whatever the track is next week.
All right. Anybody you want to shout out to or give thanks to tonight?
I'd like to thank you guys for bringing on our broadcast, friends, family, Team Conti, my girlfriend who's probably sleeping right now, and everybody who's watching, everybody who's racing. So that's who I'd like to thank tonight.
All righty. Well, thank you very much, Scott Healy, for your time. We look forward to seeing your race very soon here.
Sounds good, my man. Have a good night.
All right. Take care.
You too.
Okay, that was Scott Healy. I'm going to pass things over to you, Curtis, and you're going to interview our 2nd place winner, Cody Porter.
All right, Cody Porter, our 2nd place finisher. Do you got a copy?
Yes, sir.
All right, man. Looked like you had a really good truck tonight. We're up at the front for most of the race. You and Heath Snyder were battling kind of in between before and after that last pit stop. You two had pretty good trucks. It seemed like he kind of had a better truck in the end. You were kind of getting a little loose with that truck late in the run. Just didn't quite have enough to get the job done. Just what more do you feel like that truck needed in the end?
Yeah, first off, I thought this was going to be the New Atlanta, so I came in late to the session, and when I opened it, it was not New Atlanta, so we built the setup from scratch really quickly. So that was fun. I'm surprised we were as fast as we were. And then the first run, it fired off pretty quick, but we were a little tight, so I think it's why we were able to be as quick as we were. And then that next run, I was a little loose, so I maybe didn't adjust as much as I should have. So that last run, we were a little way too loose. As you can see, I think I was swinging at the last, I don't know, maybe 5-10 laps every corner. I was probably tapping the right rear on the wall. I think if I wouldn't have swung it a little too far, I could have maybe got by Heath, but he did really good. Scott, I think, was really trying to get by us, and I was like, no, if I can keep Scott behind me, maybe Heath will mess up and I get by him, but Heath did a great job. He earned that one for sure.
And now with that added context that kind of put together a setup last second for this race, that kind of makes a 2nd place maybe a little more impressive, maybe? Like, what was your kind of the emotions or reactions to having to put together a setup late for this race?
The fact that we were able to get a pole out of that and then run as good as we did made it so much sweeter. The fact that we were able to get 1 and 2, heck, if we were to get a top 5 out of it, is perfect out of it. I mean, honestly.
Yeah. I was gonna say, now that you said that, I'm like, that doesn't look so bad now. If anything, that's actually pretty impressive that you were able to bring the heat in the end there and able to get the pole too. That was very impressive. So good run for you tonight. And I guess lastly, do you want anyone to shout out anyone before we let you go?
Thanks to Heath for helping me test that. I think the last 10 minutes we were scrambling before the qualifying went up. It was a mad scramble. We tried multiple different setups to see what we could work off on the base, and then thanks to you guys for watching it back and see what I did wrong, what I did right, and work on whatever we go to next week. I think it's Charlotte. Hopefully it's Charlotte, but if not, we'll be tweaking on something.
Your guess is as good as mine.
Awesome. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to take things back, and we'll talk to Heath Snyder. Heath Snyder, can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
Hey, congratulations on that gold medal tonight, Heath.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
You had the race of the night. We were talking about you all night on the broadcast because you started off in 28th, I think. You were second to last on the field, and you came back with an incredible fuel saving strategy to end stage 1 and then a very, very dominant finish to end stage 2. Very, very good driving. Tell us about stage 1, though. When did you make the call to switch over to that fuel saving strategy instead of jumping over to the pits?
Well, we were fuel saving from the start there. I was like, I'm way here in the back, might as well just try to save and see how it goes. And then we had that caution with like 3 or 4 laps in, and I'm like, if I top off here and save, we should be able to get there. Cody was watching his numbers too, and he's like, oh yeah, I'm good. And I'm like, your numbers are a little different. So things worked out for me to get that. Did not expect to start at the rear, but like Cody said, we didn't really have a setup and kind of threw it together there last moment. Luckily an older setup worked. And qual did not go my way because I spun both laps. So that's why we were in the back.
That explains that. Yeah, wow, turning it around from a double spin qualification to that stage 1 win, and the fuel saving strategy really paid off. At the end of the race, what was going through your mind watching Porter, Healy, and Holloman close that gap on you?
Well, I was only really kind of worried about Cody there, but when we got to the traffic, Scott started catching up with us. I knew pinning a lap early would bite me a little bit. You know, that 1% of your tires makes a huge difference at a place like Atlanta. So it was getting a little nerve-wracking, but that high line in 1 and 2 is so powerful that as long as you're able to hit that line, it's hard to pass you the rest of the lap.
Awesome. Well, you did a fantastic job holding down the win, getting it. Beautiful victory. Is there anybody that you would like to thank or shout out to tonight?
Yeah, I got to shout out Cody, of course, putting this set together real quick. It was a beast of a set, pretty sure. But shout out to the guys back at Sadler. I appreciate what they do for us and what they get put together underneath the hood. And then shout out to my girlfriend. I know she didn't get to watch the race tonight because she was in class, but hopefully she'll be able to go back and watch the broadcast.
Well, all right. I hope that she enjoys it, and I hope that you had a great time too. We're looking forward to seeing you on the track again real soon.
Thank you, guys, and thank you for the broadcast.
Of course, you take care. Have a great night.
You too.
And that's going to do it from Atlanta tonight. Curtis, how did you enjoy tonight's race?
Enjoyed it, and I feel like we learned something tonight. Apparently, the faster you build a setup, the faster you're gonna be with that setup in the race, because everyone's building their setups at the last freaking second. I can't even build a setup to save my life, and these guys are showing up like, all right, I'm on it, and then they just show up and run 1-2. Like, that is absolutely insane, absolutely impressive run by Heath Snyder to go from last to first in an 85 lap race. That is just remarkable. Good run for him.
Yeah, really.
Excellent run for him.
Oh, it truly was. At the top of the race, we had guys who were inventing setups within seconds to go. We had a guy who spun twice on his qualifying lap. Whatever was in the air in Atlanta tonight, it resulted in some great racing. And I want to thank you, Curtis, for joining me up in the booth tonight. And I want to thank all of you for watching as I pull up my thing I haven't memorized yet to go ahead and call things off here. Here we go, folks. From the entire Grid Vision team, For the entire Grid Vision team, we'd like to thank you for watching and participating in the chat. For more information on getting your league broadcasted and on starting your career in broadcasting, contact us on Facebook, X, or email us at info@gridvision.live. Congratulations once again to Heath Snyder for tonight's win. From Atlanta, this has been Joe LaCastro, Curtis White, and Austin Derbyshire. We will see you next time on the grid.